Now, are you both going to be certified as counselors, or are you going to be? Sweet. Hey, I'll tell you what, counseling is a good gig. It's my friends that are counselors, like, you've got nice longevity in it. You know, you don't burn out. I mean, that's the thing. People will talk about lots of jobs, but you wonder why, like, there's such a high turnover in special ed? Because it sucks the life out of you. It's really hard, no matter how much you care and how passionate you are. There's something called compassion overload, where, like, it just sucks the life out of you when you care so much and there's so little you can do that. Yeah, podiums make me nervous. Not really, but hey, video kitties. See, you know, they say in the movies you never want to star with children or animals because you're always going to lose. Nobody's going to look as cute as kittens. But I'll do my best to try and entertain you with the kittens going on in the background. First off, no, it's okay. You can leave it on. It makes me look good. First off, I want to thank you guys for having me here. Like the Rotary Club, I've been to a few of the meetings, and while I'm not a Rotarian, the Rotary Club does good work around the country and around the world sometimes. And it's kind of nice. I've always noticed when I'm there, wait, what is the motto? And I'm sure you guys can, there's three things, right? Is it just, is it fair, and is it truthful? Right? Isn't there four things? What's the fourth one? Beneficial. Is it beneficial? Those are good things. And so when I was invited here to speak tonight, some people asked me about my living wage bill and asked me to speak about that. Well, instead of just speaking about that bill, I'm going to talk to you about having an economy that works for everybody. Now, I talked to a couple of young people over there, and they're counselors in our public school system. Thank you so much. I know how hard that work is and how ungrateful it seems sometimes, because at the end of the day, nobody's really thanking you, so I will thank you. Thank you. We've got a banker in our midst that cuts loans and makes sure that people have money, right? It makes the world go round in our capitalist society. What else do we got? Well, I know what Sahara does. I know what you do. What else do we got? How many people here are going to be in business in the next couple of years? Nobody. How many people are going to be in the public structure? Like, okay. How many people are going to be politicians? Someday. Sahara didn't raise her hand, no. Yeah, well, I never thought I would be a politician either. And I don't consider myself a very good one even as we speak. But that being said, that's what democracy is all about. Our system was created by citizens that got together and thought that they could have a better way to empower their families and win for their families. Now, unfortunately, when our democracy was created in the United States, it was created by a bunch of people that look like me. And actually, they even had long hair like me. But a bunch of white men that owned slaves and treated people very poorly. Women, you guys didn't have a right to vote. You didn't have a right to speak, realistically. You didn't have a right to own property. When they originally wrote the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they thought there was a whole class that thought the only people that should have a right to vote in America are landowners. Thank God that didn't go through. Now, interestingly enough, it was only a couple of months ago when I had the honor and the blessing to attend the inauguration of President Obama. And I thought how incredibly just this is when now we have a man of African American descent entering the house that was built by African slaves. Think about that. How many of you guys knew that the White House was built by slaves? Did you? One person did. But you know what that tells us? That tells us that our democracy works. It's a system that was created, and we have our good times and our bad times, but it works. And why does it work? Because you get off your butts and do what you're supposed to do. You participate in our democracy as citizens, and you get involved. You know when our democracy doesn't work? When you stay on your doggins and watch television, and you let someone else make decisions for you and your family. And then you wonder why the democracy is not working for you. And you go, those damn politicians, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. And then I turn around and I say, did you tell them what you wanted to do? And folks go, well, no. Well, why not? Well, because they should just know. Well, let me tell you, politicians have no crystal balls, myself included, right? It's important that you get involved and tell us what you want and what's important for your family. And then it's us to figure out how to do it. One of the problems on Guam is that we've allowed our democracy to be controlled by a very small percentage of our population. We've allowed our democracy to be controlled by the people that own hotels, like the one we're in, by the rich, by the powerful, the people that have influence that can buy ad time. The average senatorial campaign for a first-time senator, they spend $130,000 to get elected. Now think about it. How much did you guys donate in the last campaign? Exactly. Who's got that kind of money on Guam? Well, I doubt if it's you and your families. Maybe you might have rich families, I don't know. But it's not me and my family. And I go to a lot. I mean, even before I ran for office, I would go and give my $20 to every candidate I could because I wanted to get involved in our democracy. But it has been controlled by people that can afford it. And even in the federal system, it's been controlled by the rich and powerful. And how we can take the money out of our democracy and move it back in the hands of people is a constant challenge for every senator. I just listened to an interview by our dear and departed Senator Ted Kennedy, who I had the honor to meet a few years ago. And unless you're actually involved in politics and understand the politics of the Hill and DC, you don't know what a huge setback this is for President Obama and for everybody in our country. It is a great loss to all of us, not just because he was a great man and a great leader, but it's a great loss to all of us because now we've lost a senior Democratic senator in the Senate, and it's going to be very hard to move bills through for the next couple of months and really the next couple of years, because even if you replace him with another Democrat, it makes no difference. It's going to be a junior Democrat as opposed to the most senior Democrat. And that's going to be a really hard issue for us. But I was listening to this interview, and Senator Kennedy was talking about how when he first entered the Senate, and he said, you know, when I first got in the Senate, senators would start work, they would fly into DC on Sunday night, they would work all through the week, and they would fly home on Saturday morning. He goes, today that's not true. Senators don't get into DC until noon on Tuesday, and then they leave Friday morning because they have to spend so much time at home raising money.